Good evening. Welcome everyone to the Inner Engineering Completion online webinar, How to Learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya online. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. Before we begin, we would like to know each other a little bit. So if you could let us know where you're joining us from, which city, state or country, if you could just use the chat feature in the platform that you're joining us from and let us know. We'll wait for your responses. Okay, Amit from Canada, Brenda from Maryland, Rosemary, California, Canada, Matt from Bermuda, wonderful, Montreal, Canada, okay, Phoenix, Arizona, okay, we have Ankit all the way from India, Yared, Hira from Jammu, from India, wonderful, okay, we have Dilip from Rajasthan, Komal, Toronto, okay. Marlene from Santa Monica, California, okay. We have Alejandro from Chile. It's wonderful to be here with all of you from all over the world. My name is Shruti and I'm a full-time volunteer with Isha Foundation, an international non-profit organization dedicated to human well-being, founded by Sadhguru, a yogi, mystic and visionary. Isha Foundation has been offering tools for well-being from yogic sciences for over 35 years and 300 city centers, supported by 11 million volunteers worldwide. Sadhguru offers yoga not as a philosophy or a belief system, but as a powerful inner science that anyone can make use of to live peaceful and joyfully to their full potential. Today, this webinar on Inner Engineering Completion Online program, we are bringing to you from Isha Institute of Inner Sciences in Tennessee, USA. This is the headquarters of Isha in US. And today we will be talking about Inner Engineering Completion program a little bit, how to learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya online, what is this all about, what are the benefits, how to make the best use of the program, and we'll look at any other questions that you have. We want to keep the session as interactive as possible, so the flow of session will depend on what questions you're asking, so please feel free to use the chat feature and ask questions as and when they arise. So before we begin, we would like to know at what point you are in your inner engineering journey. If you have not yet started inner engineering, or you have already started it, you are doing inner engineering online program, or you have already done online program but have not yet learned Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, or you have done inner engineering online and you have also done inner engineering completion and learned Shambhavi. Those of you on big marker, you will see a poll. Others, if you can just respond through the chat. We will wait for your responses. Okay, so we have around 33% of you who have not yet started the inner engineering journey, around 6% going through inner engineering online program, around 47% completed inner engineering online, but not yet done Shambhavi, and few of you have already learned Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. So those of you who are new to inner engineering, what is this inner engineering about? Why is it needed, first of all? We have done much engineering to the outside world. Obviously, the purpose of engineering the world around us is to create comforts and situations as we want them, as it is comfortable and convenient for us. Over the last 100 years, we have done a tremendous amount of engineering to the outside world. We are the most comfortable generation ever on the planet, isn't it? Yes? Aren't we the most comfortable generation ever on the planet? But are we any happier than the generation that was before us? Can we say that we are the most happiest and peaceful generation on the planet? We cannot say that. So this external engineering, though much comfort has come out of it, in terms of life, it does not seem to have worked. What do I mean by it does not seem to have worked? Right now, if I ask you, how would you choose to be within yourself? Joyful, miserable, angry, stressful, blissful, happy, how would you want to be? Happy, joyful, isn't it? Yes? You can use the chat to reply. You would want to be happy. But are you happy all the time in all the situations? Let's say you go to a beach. It's a beautiful place. For a few moments, you're peaceful. When you come back to the parking lot and you see that someone has left a big scratch on your car, what happens to your peace? It's all gone, isn't it? So anyone can be peaceful in a peaceful place. But if you can be peaceful in a place which is full of problems, if you can be peaceful and joyful in a busy marketplace, in a place which is full of problems, only then it is yours. So we have lost control over our systems. Our interiority is not happening the way we want it to happen, isn't it? Yes. Sometimes you're this way, sometimes you're that way. Depending on what's happening on the outside, that's what's dictating what's happening on the inside. Now, inner engineering gives you tools and technologies from ancient yogic sciences to take complete charge of your interiority, to create your inner state just the way you want, not depending on what's on the outside. So inner engineering is a very powerful step-by-step transformative process that allows you to completely take charge of your life by taking charge of your mind, body, emotions, energies, and function at the peak of your capabilities. Inner engineering is offered in 2 steps. The first step, which some of you have already started, is the Inner Engineering online program. It is a set of 7 sessions that you do with Sadhguru in the comfort of your own home, at your own pace, in your own time. You go through a certain set of discourses, some awareness exercises, some guided meditations, and also you learn some simple yogic practices. These classes are designed to bring about emotional and psychological well-being and stability. It empowers you to create your mind and your emotions just the way you want, so that you can go through life situations effortlessly, with grace, without stress, and with a certain amount of ease within yourself. Especially over the last 2 years, with the pandemic going on, this Inner Engineering Online has transformed lives of millions of people. It is not that the life situations change. It was the still pandemic going and everything on the outside was not in the control, but just the way people experience life, just the way you look at life, perceive life changes, because now you have the tools to be able to have your mind and emotions function at their optimal level. So this Inner Engineering Online, once you start this program, it's there for 30 days and you go through all these 7 online sessions. Once you finish it, there's a refresher that's available every month that you can go through. There are also bonus videos that are available with each class that you can make use of. Now, once you have gone through this program, you're making use of these tools and you have seen the impact on your emotional and psychological well-being, and you have seen how it's changing the way you're experiencing life. Now, if you want to take a step further, then you can look at Inner Engineering Completion Program, in which you learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya with a few preparatory steps. Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya is a very powerful 21-minute Kriya which incorporates the breath. So now you equip yourself with a powerful energy process that works on the level of your energies and that can help create a chemistry of peace and bliss from within. So just by your own nature, you could be joyful. Now, what do I mean by creating a chemistry of peace and bliss from within? Let's hear about it more from Sadhguru.
Now, we are thinking of happiness like it's some kind of a commodity or some kind of an attainment. No, when your life comes to ease, when you come to ease, happiness is a natural consequence. Coming to ease, what does it mean? There are many ways to look at this. Well, because I should not say look inward you already put a condition on me. So, is it true that today, even medically we know, every human experience has a chemical basis to it? So what you call as peace is one kind of chemistry, happiness is another kind of chemistry, joy is another kind of chemistry, misery is another kind of chemistry, agony is one kind of chemistry, ecstasy is another kind of chemistry. Every human experience has a chemical basis to it. Or in other words, you are a very complex chemical soup. The question is only, are you a great soup or a lousy soup? If you're a great soup, you taste good, not for somebody, for yourself. When you taste very good for yourself, if you sit here, if you feel extremely pleasant within yourself because the soup is great, then people say you are happy. If you become very, very pleasant, people will say you're joyful. If you become super pleasant, people will say you're ecstatic. So, to make it very simple and understandable for most people, your chemistry needs to be altered. There's a whole technology with which we can create the kind of chemistry that you want. If I teach you how to create a blissful chemistry within yourself, your very chemistry is blissful and you will be blissful. When you're blissful, you will no more be in pursuit of happiness. That is the biggest mistake, that we are in pursuit of happiness. Your life has to become an expression of joy. When your life is an expression of your experience, then what you do, what you do not do will not determine the quality of your life. How you are within yourself will determine the quality of your life. I'm sorry, once again I use the word within, but chemistry is not within, it is still outside of you. But if you know how to make the right soup, then being joyful is not an issue, it's a natural consequence of that. So, we can teach you a technology, we can teach you a methodology with which you will know how to stir the right kind of soup within you. This is what I'm calling as inner engineering, that you engineer your chemistry in such a way that it's blissful by its own nature, not because of something. If you think you're going to squeeze happiness out of something or somebody, you will be disappointed because nothing will yield anything unless you have a chemistry of blissfulness within you.
As Sadhguru said, it allows us to create a chemistry of peace and bliss from within. Now, if you are blissful, if you are pleasant, that is when you will function at your best, isn't it? If you bring a certain amount of pleasantness in your physical body, we call this health, pleasure. So, definitely Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya can bring relief from chronic ailment. It has a lot of benefits on the level of the body. If you bring a certain amount of pleasantness in your mind, we call this peace, joy. It can help with a lot of psychological ailments as well. There are many people who have found relief from ailments like depression, anxiety, stress. Then if you bring a certain amount of pleasantness in your emotions, we call this love, compassion. If you bring a certain amount of pleasantness in your energies, we call this blissfulness. So this is a very simple but powerful science and technology of bringing a complete overhaul of your body, mind, emotions and energies and creating a chemistry of blissfulness. So we would like to take a pause here and see what questions you have. If you could please let us know your questions through the chat. or you could put it in the Q&A in the big marker if you're joining us from that platform. So a question from Purnima. I'm currently pregnant and I would like to learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. Planning to register it and practice it throughout my pregnancy. Can I practice preparatory asanas as well? And should I leave 4-hour gap before practicing Shambhavi Mahamudra? So Shambhavi Mahamudra is a very simple process. It has a few preparatory asanas which are very simple and can be done by anyone irrespective of your physical condition. It doesn't require any prior experience in yoga, any physical agility. Pregnant women can also do it. And then Shambhavi Mahamudra, the 21-minute process. Again, it's a very simple process that incorporates the breath. Anyone in any level of physical condition and pregnant women can do it. For women who are pregnant, it can actually be very beneficial to do the preparatory asanas and Shambhavi. It can help you in normal delivery, and it can also be a blessing for the baby in many ways. Please tell me dates for inner engineering online completion other than that which are available on website. So we have an inner engineering online program coming up. So inner engineering completion can be done in 2 ways, online or in person. Traditionally, we were offering inner engineering only as an in-person program because it takes a certain level of commitment and a focused and dedicated atmosphere to be able to transmit this powerful ancient process. But when pandemic started, we were not able to offer these in-person programs in cities anymore. So then with Sadhguru's grace and guidance and with the support of a very dedicated team of volunteers, we started offering this program online. That's why we are calling it Inner Engineering Completion Online. We started it last year in January, and already more than 57,000 participants have gone through the program and their lives have been transformed. We do offer the program in person, but it only happens at Isha Institute of Inner Sciences in Tennessee. It happens as a retreat, 2-day retreat, which means you have to come here and stay for 2 days and learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. It happens almost every month. Now, the online program, usually one is hosted from the center in India and one is hosted here from the center in US, in Tennessee. The one we host from here is mainly catering to the participants that are joining from North America, South America, Europe, certain parts of Middle East. And the one that's hosted from India, the timings are more suitable for those joining from the East, more to the east of Asia. So we have one coming up in June 4th to 12th, that will be hosted here from Tennessee. Other than that, we have not yet finalized the dates for the programs after that, but we'll definitely have one every few months. And the in-person program, as I mentioned, it happens almost one every month. So we will look at the website in a bit, and we'll go through how you can look at more information, how you can register for the program. Always there will be Shambhavi online, or one day Sadhguru will stop doing it. So right now it's being offered. This Inner Engineering program is a flagship program of Isha Foundation. This is the first step that Sadhguru is offering to start this journey of inner transformation with him. So this will always be there because this is fundamentally the first step before you move into any advanced programs. Okay, so let's look at the website now, because there's some questions about the format of the program and the registration process. If you go to innerengineering.com, that's the main website. That's where you'll find all the information about the program. If you just go down, you will see an introductory video on what is inner engineering. Those of you who want to know more about what is this all about. Then as you go down further, you will see information on these two steps that I mentioned, the Inner Engineering Online Program and then Inner Engineering Completion Program. If you go to learn more on Inner Engineering Online, then you'll see more information about the Inner Engineering Online Program. You could register just for the online program, or you could register for both the online and the completion program as a package together. So you'll see there's some information about the course, the sessions, what's there in each of the sessions. So these are you'll see all the, some brief summary of the 7 online sessions that you do with Sadhguru. Okay, so now let's look at the Inner Engineering Completion Program. If you again go to learn more, you'll see more details on Inner Engineering Completion Program, where you learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. So there was a question about receiving Shambhavi Kriya online. Is it as impactful as it is in person? So there's a video where Sadhguru specifically addresses this aspect. You can watch it in your own time. He talks about how Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, it's not just a practice, it's a certain process of transmission that happens, which you receive. So it doesn't matter whether you're in online or you are in person. What matters is how you are receiving it. What's your level of willingness and commitment? When you are there in person, then volunteers are there to make sure that there's a committed, dedicated atmosphere for you, that we minimize all the external disturbances and you can completely be focused and you can be fully involved towards it. The only thing in online program is that you have to do it yourself. You have to create that ambience yourself so that you can receive this powerful practice in the best possible manner. There will be guidelines that will be shared with you on how to create such a space. We'll talk about few of these in a moment. You will also see, some of you, there was a question on what are the benefits of Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. We briefly talked about it, but you'll see a video with more details on that. And also you will see some research findings. Those of you with the scientific mindset and you're looking to know more about if there have been any studies or research work that's been done, you can see there's all this information will be there, information on the chronic ailments, people who have benefited from that, all kinds of psychological ailments, and much more than that. Okay. So all these benefits, these physical, psychological benefits, these are only side benefits of inner engineering. The main purpose of this, as we talked about earlier, is to take charge of your life and create your inner situation just the way you want. And physical and mental health and well-being will be just a side effect of that. When you come to Inner Engineering Completion Online Program, the program structure is that there will be 3 sessions. The first 2 sessions are 2.5 hours each, in which you learn the simple preparatory postures. Those of you who have any physical disability or anything else, the instructor will go through the modifications for the postures. If you are still not able to do these preparatory postures, it's still okay, because for Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, these preparatory postures, while they help you to prepare your system to receive the Kriya, but they are not required, they are not mandatory for you to learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. So you also start learning the Kriya in bits and pieces, and then finally it all comes together in session 3, which is a 9-hour long session with breaks in between. That's where you will receive the transmission for the Kriya. So all these sessions are, you need to attend all these sessions in that sequence, because it's a step-by-step process. If you miss one step, then you won't really be able to make use of the next session. Okay. So there are, we'll look at the dates for the upcoming program. I mentioned it's June 4th to 12th. So June 4th and 5th, you'll see some session timings. Once you select a timing for the session 1, automatically your session 2 will be for the next day, for the consecutive day. Okay. And then session 3 is where all the groups will come together. So there is only one session for all the groups. Okay. So you have to first do inner engineering online before you register for inner engineering completion program. So either you register for these programs separately or you register for them as a package. Both options are available. Age limit is 15 plus, and we talked about creating a conducive space. So just ensure that you're able to create a quiet and private space with no disturbance from family members or pets. Ideally, just a 3 x 6 foot area is sufficient for you to be able to do the postures and the yoga practice that we will be teaching. It's important that you have a laptop or a desktop, and it should have a webcam and speakers. Mobile phones are not supported. The technology that we are using, it doesn't support the mobile phones, and it's good to have good internet bandwidth so that you can have a seamless experience of the program. There will be volunteers that are there to assist you throughout your journey. They will be there to assist you before the program for the check-in process. During the program, when you're there online, volunteers will be connected to you through webcam. They will be able to see you. They will be able to see your practice, how you are doing it, and they will be able to support you. So we try to create an experience as close as possible to an in-person program, and that's why there's an elaborate team of volunteers and supporting you through this inner engineering completion online program. And that's why we need you to have your webcams and speakers on. Okay, so I think that probably answers most of the questions about how to register for the program. Let's look at if there are any more questions that have come up. Okay. I don't know how to speak English. Can I take this course through subtitles because Google Translator turns audio into text? It's okay, you don't have to be able to speak English, but if you're able to understand English, that's all we need. Understand English to the extent that you're able to understand the instructions for the practice and follow along. If you're not able to communicate with us in English, you can communicate with us in whichever language is comfortable for you, and we can use the translator like you suggested to be able to answer your questions. Okay. I completed Shambhavi 3 years ago but couldn't continue practice regularly. Now I would like to practice Shambhavi regularly, but I forgot the steps. How can I learn Shambhavi steps again? So once you complete the inner engineering completion program and you have learned Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, there is a support system that's there for you. There are monthly satsangs that happen in which Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya is guided by Sadhguru. So you can just follow along and it will help you refresh some of the things that you may have forgotten. If the satsang is still not sufficient, if it's not enough for you to be able to recollect what you have forgotten, you can always volunteer for inner engineering programs. You could come to the center and volunteer, or you could volunteer for inner engineering completion online program. As a volunteer, you are able to contribute to making it happen for so many other people. At the same time, you're able to go through the program once again. If you wish to re-register for inner engineering completion, just the inner engineering completion and retake it, that's also possible. So you can write to our support team if you wish to retake the program. I'm scheduled to start Shambhavi, but it's been over a year since I completed inner engineering. Should I do a refresher first? It's not needed to do a refresher, but if you want to refresh, like I said, there are monthly webinars that are available for you to refresh inner engineering online. If you have an opportunity, you can go through one of them. If you don't get the opportunity, it's fine. You can still go through the program. Are we able to take the full program at any center? So right now we are not offering full programs here in North America, but in the India center you do have a 4-day format of the program where you can take the full program as a 4-day retreat. Okay. What quality of webcam is required? So the details, the technical requirements are mentioned on the website. It will also be in the email that's given to you. It's not that we need a very high quality webcam, just something so that we are able to see you and support you throughout the program, that's all. Something that works with your internet and just allows us to support you. I have signed for inner engineering. Do I need to do them on certain dates or on my own time? So if you're talking about inner engineering online program, you can do the 7 sessions in your own time at your own pace. However, it's recommended that once you start the program, you go through it as quickly as possible for you, one after the other, because again, like I said, it's a step-by-step process. So if you do it in continuity, that would be the best. However, there is no specific requirement. You will have 30 days to finish all the 7 online classes. And even if, let's say, for some reason you're not able to finish in 30 days and you need extension, you can always write to our support team and they'll be able to help you with that. Can I start with Shambhavi Mahamudra before completing inner engineering? So inner engineering online you have to complete before you learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. So like I said, it's a step-by-step process. The first step is inner engineering online. It gives you the tools to be able to handle your mind and emotions, and then you power it further with the powerful Kriya of Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. So it's just the Kriya by itself is not the solution that Sadhguru is offering. The Kriya, along with the tools that he offers in Inner Engineering Online, is the complete Inner Engineering Online program. And when everything is put together, it becomes a very powerful, transformative process that works on all levels. Like I said, all 4 levels: body, mind, emotions, and energy. It becomes a complete solution for your overall well-being. There are some questions about the cost. I'm not very sure. If you can look at the website, you will see the cost and the discounts that are there. There's usually an early bird discount for every program that's valid for a certain date. And then after that, there are some discounts that are usually available depending on students, or sometimes even if you have hardship and you're not able to pay for the fee, but you really want to take the program, you can always apply for a hardship also. Why is the Inner Engineering Completion Program a prerequisite for the other programs? So it's a prerequisite for advanced programs, but you can still do Hatha programs that are offered. For advanced programs, Inner Engineering Program is a prerequisite because this is where you get initiated into the Kriya with Sadhguru. You have to prepare your body, your mind, your system to a certain extent before you go to an advanced program. Because whenever we are working on the level of your energies, it takes a certain preparation of body and mind before we start working on that. So that's why it's a step-by-step process. The first step that Sadhguru has established is the Inner Engineering Program, where you learn Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. You get initiated into that and you do it, and then you go for the advanced program. And like that, there are steps. When you go for Samyama program, which is the most advanced program that is offered, it will have several different prerequisites, several programs that you should have completed and practiced for a certain amount of time before you can go for that. Sadhguru always says that when you work on the level of your energies, if you don't do the proper preparation that your body or mind needs, then it may not work on your system the way you expect it. It may even be harmful for you. So that's why this whole process, this whole system has been designed by Sadhguru, so that it doesn't matter where you are, what your belief systems are, whether you have done any yoga or not, what's your flexibility, what's the level in your body is right now or mind is right now. It can work for anyone. It's like that. It's like a science. You follow step 1, you follow step 2, you follow step 3, and then this happens. That's how science works, isn't it? You do this, you do this, you do that, and then something happens. That's how it is. It's a very precise science. You have to follow it in the way it's been set up. I did the inner engineering course, but on the platform it tells me not to complete it. It is necessary that I register the completion of the inner engineering course on the website so that I can do Shambhavi. So Shambhavi you learn only in the inner engineering completion program, which you can register only after you complete the inner engineering online program. So if you have already completed it and your system shows as not completed, you just get in touch with our support team and they'll be able to help you. But once the system knows that you have completed the online program, only then they will allow you to register for inner engineering completion or Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. Can you give me the steps of the course so I can memorize the words used in it? I'm not sure about, I'm not very clear about the question, but inner engineering is an experiential process. So it's not about memorization of a word. This learning is not like a typical school learning. This is completely an experiential process. So whatever we are teaching you, you in the program, whatever is being given to you, whatever simple instructions are being given to you, you follow it and see how it transforms your experience. It's not something to memorize. So you can only taste what is inner engineering, or you can only know what is inner engineering by going through it. Not by just reading some words or listening about it or talking about it. You really have to go through it in its entirety with full involvement and commitment to experience and to go through inner engineering for yourself. Does Sadhguru teach in person in Tennessee? Yes, there are some programs that Sadhguru offers in person from time to time. Inner engineering program sometimes he has offered in person, but it doesn't matter whether he's in person or not for an inner engineering program. It is set up in such a way that it happens with Sadhguru's grace and guidance. So the experience of the program is same whether Sadhguru is offering it in person or whether it's online. You can again watch the video where he really talks about how this Shambhavi Mahamudra process it's a process of transmission that can happen whether Sadhguru is in person or not. But there are some other in-person programs that happen. Sadhguru will be here at Asia Institute of Inner Sciences in July around Guru Purnima. Probably he will be here at the center, and there may be some program or some event that is offered here when he's here. It's not finalized yet. but there may be something which you could come here for a couple of days and attend. It won't be inner engineering, it would be probably some other program. When exactly will be the next program? I heard that it is in September, but do you know the date? September is when we are planning for the next program. Sometime in mid-September. The dates have not yet been finalized, so we don't want to give you something that's not finalized, but probably in the second or third week of September. Can I call Isha Center to subscribe for inner engineering program, or we can only subscribe online? Yes, if you want to call Isha Center to register, you can do so. Or you can also email our support team and see if they can help you with an offline registration. I'm more of a hands-on type of person. Do you know when it will be open for the full program to be available in Tennessee? So, see, this inner engineering online program, even though we are calling it online, when you actually sit for those sessions, it will be almost like you are in person with Sadhguru. It's almost, the way it happens is that it's almost like it's a one-on-one session happening between you and Sadhguru. So that's the way it happens. So really there is no difference whether you do it in person or whether you do it online. If you really want to do an in-person program, like I said, you could come for an inner engineering completion program in Tennessee, but inner engineering online you have to do by yourself. It's just 7 classes, 90 minutes each that you have to go through. As long as you are in some quiet space, you start going through it, you will even forget that whether it's online or in person, it's just a very intimate one-on-one session with Sadhguru, like that it feels. So right now that's what we are offering here. As per Sadhguru's guidance, we are only offering inner engineering as 2 steps, inner engineering online and inner engineering completion, not as a full program together in person. Do I have to finish all the yoga practices besides the 7 lessons? So those 7 sessions that you go through, you will be given some simple practices. It's good to do those practices every day because it will really help you to prepare your system for the inner engineering completion program. Even if you don't go through inner engineering completion program, those simple practices that you learned in the inner engineering online program can be very transformative in themselves. We have so many people who have just taken inner engineering online program, and just by going through those sessions and just by doing those simple practices, the entire experience of life has transformed. So please do make use of those practices. They're very, very simple. It takes only a few minutes to do them, and you can do them anytime in your own space. You don't have to do all the practices together. You can do it whichever practice you feel like doing at whatever time. It's so simple to just take few minutes any time of the day and just do it. You just see how to bring it into your daily schedule, and it will definitely make a huge difference. But it's not a requirement for you to do all the practices before you come for a completion program. Like I said, it's really up to you. It depends on your willingness, your commitment, your dedication on how this program is going to work for you. So if you do all these practices, then you come for the inner engineering completion program, you'll be better prepared to receive it. If you don't do it, that's also fine. How much you put into receiving this program is how much you'll get out of it. What date to do the program at Tennessee? So it happens, like I said, to once every month. If you go to the innerengineering.com website that we mentioned, you will see the upcoming dates for the in-person Inner Engineering Completion Program retreat at Tennessee, and then you can register for it. It's the same website that has both online and in-person program registration options available. When satsangs start. So satsangs will start, you will be able to attend satsang as soon as you finish your Inner Engineering Completion Program. Once you have learned Shambhavi, you will be able to attend monthly satsangs. We were doing the satsangs online during pandemic, but now we have resumed them in person. So almost in every major city in US and all over the world, the meditators in that particular city and volunteers gather, and they go through Shambhavi together, guided. They are volunteers who are trained to help you with the practice, to give you corrections, to answer questions. And these satsangs are happening on second Saturday of every month. So once you finish the program, you will receive the details of satsangs that are happening close to you, and then you can go for it. There is no registration or there is no fee for the satsang as such. It is an offering from Isha volunteers. Okay. All right. Are there any more questions? In case I forget the process, is there a probability that I could do it wrong? So we will make sure that you have all the necessary support, that you don't forget it. When you go through the program, you will see that it is an experiential process. It happens in such a way that when you come out of the program, you will have the necessary instructions for you to be able to do the practice by yourself, and also the motivation for you to be able to do it. And in case you can't remember or you forget, like I said, there is enough support. In addition to monthly satsangs, there are volunteers who are trained, who are available to support you at any time. You can email them. There's a practice support email ID, and they'll get back to you. There are also some volunteers in your city who are trained. They could even help you in person with your practices. So we will make sure that you have all the support so that you're able to do the practice properly. Can you also explain the benefits of Shambhavi Kriya from technical point? As for example, Sadhguru said that Isha Kriya helps maintaining distance from your karmas. So Sadhguru talked about it. We showed you the video. He talks about how we are creating a certain chemistry of bliss from within you. It is a powerful process. It's difficult to pinpoint technically exactly what it's doing in the system, but it changes the very way your life energies are. It changes the very way the chemistry of your system is. You can look at the video that we showed on the website, which talks about the miraculous effects of Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. But really it's very difficult to technically explain how this process works, because it is a very profound inner science that Sadhguru, based on his experience of profound experience of how the system works, has designed it. But it's not possible to be able to really technically look at how this Kriya is working and how it's really bringing about the benefits that we are seeing it brings. So I would recommend that you go by experience. That is the best way to know what this process is and what it's doing to you. I come from a very technical background. I did engineering, and then I did MBA. I worked in finance for some time. But when I did Inner Engineering program back in 2012, when I started doing Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, the kind of changes it brought, it wasn't my scientific mind or my logical mind could not explain or could not even believe what was happening. Just in few days or few weeks, my whole body was functioning differently. So many small things I was facing just disappeared completely. I was at such an ease within myself. My efficiency, productivity at work just increased. So it was like very, very profound experience for me, and that is why I'm now a full-time volunteer and working towards offering this to as many people as I can. And that's how it's been for millions of volunteers that are supporting Isha Foundation in their experience. Just their whole life has been transformed by a 20-minute process. So it is very difficult to technically or scientifically understand how such a simple, just 20 minutes could transform someone's life. It's only something you could experience. There are sharings of meditators on the website in engineering.com. You could go through, hear from people's experience and see what it has done to them. Okay. I think we have answered all of your questions. Will there be a replay of today's session? It is, if you are joining from social media, it is live. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram right now, and that session will be there for some time. When exactly will be the next program? Okay, I think we answered that. So I think we have answered most of your questions, if not all of them. But if you have any more questions, please do reach out to our support line, Inner Engineering Completion Support. We will send you the email address of our support team. It's also there on our website. And we do keep having these webinars from time to time. I believe this is the last one before this program begins this weekend. But we'll definitely have another series of webinars like this before the next program after the June one for the September program. So we are here to answer any questions anytime you want. You can also just call the Isha Center in Tennessee if you have any questions. Okay. So we hope we provided you with enough information and inspiration to be able to take this step towards your inner well-being, no matter where you are and what your belief system may be. If you just employ this simple technology, it can be a very transformative process for you, and it can completely change the way you live and are able to handle your faculties. So we invite you to take this step towards your inner well-being. Thank you very much for being with us today. Have a good night.